Hello and welcome back to my blog. Part 36, the final part of Flatland, Romance Many Dimensions. Section 22, how I then tried to diffuse the theory of three dimensions by other means and of the result. Obviously, I'm still having trouble with my voice. Next morning, standing in the very place where about a very few months ago the sphere had stood in my company, I was allowed to begin and to continue my narration unquestioned and uninterrupted. But from the first I foresaw my fate, for the President, noting that a guard of the better sort of policemen was in attendance, of angularity little if at all under 55 degrees, ordered them to be relieved before I began my defense, by an inferior class of 2 or 3 degrees. I knew only too well what that meant. I was to be executed or imprisoned, and my story was to be kept secret from the world by the simultaneous destruction of the officials who had heard it, and this being the case, the President desired to substitute the cheaper for the more expensive victims. After I had concluded my defense, the President, perhaps perceiving that some of the junior circles had been moved by my evident earnestness, asked me 2 questions. 1, whether I could indicate the direction which I meant when I used the words upward, not northward. 2, whether I could, by any diagrams or descriptions other than the enumeration of imaginary sides and angles, indicate the figure I was pleased to call a cube. I declared that I could say nothing more and that I must commit myself to the truth, whose cause would surely prevail in the end. The President replied that he quite concurred in my sentiment and that I could not do better. I must be sentenced to perpetual imprisonment, but if the truth intended that I should emerge from prison and evangelize the world, the truth might be trusted to bring that result to pass. Meanwhile, I should be subjected to no discomfort that was not necessary to preclude escape, and unless I forfeited the privilege by misconduct, I should be occasionally permitted to see my brother who had preceded me to my prison. 7 years have elapsed and I am still a prisoner, and, if I accept the occasional visits of my brother, debarred from all companionship save that of my jailers. My brother is one of the best of squares, just, sensible, cheerful, and not without fraternal affection. Yet I confess that my weekly interviews, at least in one respect, cause me the bitterest pain. He was present when the sphere manifested himself in the council chamber. He saw the sphere's changing sections. He heard the explanation of the phenomena then given to the circles. Since that time, scarcely a week has passed during my 7 whole years without his hearing from me a repetition of the part I played in that manifestation, together with ample descriptions of all the phenomena in Spaceland and the arguments for the existence of solid things derivable from analogy. Yet, I take shame to be forced to confess it, my brother has not yet grasped the nature of the 3rd dimension and frankly avows his disbelief in the existence of a sphere. Hence, I am absolutely destitute of converts, and, for aught that I can see, the millennial revelation has been made to me for nothing. Prometheus, up in Spaceland, was bound for bringing down fire for mortals. But I, poor Flatland Prometheus, lie here in prison for bringing down nothing to my countrymen. Yet I exist in the hope that these memoirs, in some manner, I know not how, may find their way to the minds of humanity in some dimension, and may stir up a race of rebels who shall refuse to be confined to limited dimensionality. That is the hope of my brighter moments. Alas, it is not always so. Heavily weighs on me at times the burdensome reflection that I cannot honestly say I'm confident as to the exact shape of the once seen, oft regretted cube. And in my nightly visions, the mysterious precept, upward, not northward, haunts me like a soul-devouring sphinx. It is part of the martyrdom which I endure for the cause of the truth that there are seasons of mental weakness, when cubes and spheres flit away into the background of scarce possible existences, when the land of 3 dimensions seems almost as visionary as the land of 1 or none. Nay, when even this hard wall that bars me from my freedom, these very tablets on which I am writing, and all the substantial realities of Flatland itself appear no better than the offspring of a diseased imagination or the baseless fabric of a dream. And we are now returning from Flatland to our own land. That's the end of Flatland. What will I do tomorrow? I haven't the slightest idea. I'll be as surprised as you. Make it a great day, and bye for now.